Hi, I'm Alexiana, welcome back. I found a thread on Reddit which the whole thing is just so hilarious. I have to read it to you. And to start with, I'd like to say thank you to the users of Reddit. You are wonderful, hilarious people. I personally love the joke section because it's so hilarious, and I have made some good contributions myself. So, here we go. The thread is the title was the 20 worst jokes ever. So they're starting you off by putting your expectations really low, and then from there it just gets so good. Number 1, 2 antennas met on a roof. Sorry, I can't even read it right. This is a good start, isn't it? 2 antennas met on a roof, fell in love, and got married. The ceremony wasn't much, but the reception was excellent. 2, a jumper cable walks into a bar. The bartender says, "I'll serve you, but don't start anything." 3, 2 peanuts walk into a bar, and one was assaulted. 4, a dyslexic man walks into a bar. 5, a man walks into a bar with a slab of asphalt under his arm and says, "A beer, please, and one for the road." 6, 2 cannibals are eating a clown. One says to the other, "Does this taste funny to you?" 7, "Look, I can't stop singing the green, green grass of home. That sounds like Tom Jones syndrome. Is it common? Well, it's not unusual." 8, 2 cows are standing next to each other in a field. Daisy says to Dolly, "I was artificially inseminated this morning." "I don't believe you," says Dolly. "It's true, no bull," exclaims Daisy. 9, an invisible man marries an invisible woman. The kids were nothing to look at either. 10, déjà vu, the feeling that you've heard this bull before. 11, I went to buy some camouflage trousers the other day, but I couldn't find any. 12, a man woke up in a hospital after a serious accident. He shouted, "Doctor, doctor, I can't feel my legs." The doctor replied, "I know you can't, I've cut off your arms." That's a bit of a dark one. 13, I went to a seafood disco last week and pulled a mussel. 14, what do you call a fish with no eyes? A fish. 15, 2 fish swim into a concrete wall. The one turns to the other and says, "Damn." 16, 2 Eskimos sitting in a kayak with chili, so they lit a fire in the craft. Unsurprisingly, it sank, proving once again that you can't have your kayak and heat it too. 17, a group of chess enthusiasts checked into a hotel and were standing in the lobby discussing their recent tournament victories. After about an hour, the manager came out of the office and asked them to disperse. "But why?" they asked as they moved off. "Because," he said, "I can't stand chestnuts boasting in an open foyer." 18, a woman has twins and gives them up for adoption. One of them goes to a family in Egypt and is named Amal. The other one goes to a family in Spain and they name him Joan. Years later, Joan sends a picture of himself to his birth mother. Upon receiving the picture, she tells her husband that she wishes she also had a picture of Amal. Her husband responds, "They're twins. If you've seen Joan, you've seen them all." That's also supposed to be a plural. If you've seen one, you've seen them all. I'm probably pronouncing the names terribly, I'm sorry. 19. Mahatma Gandhi, as you know, walked barefoot most of the time, which produced an impressive set of calluses on his feet. He also ate very little, which made him rather frail, and with his odd diet he suffered from bad breath. This made him, oh man, this is so bad, it's good, in brackets, a super calloused, fragile mystic hexed by halitosis. Terrible. 20, and finally, there was the person who sent 20 different puns to his friends with the hope that at least 10 of the puns would make them laugh. No pun intended. There you go, that's the start of the thread. And it just gets better from there. 12 reminds me of the joke. A man goes to see the doctor. "Doctor, everything hurts when I touch it." Let me see. Touch your arm. Does that hurt?" "Yes, doctor." "Now when you touch your knee, does that hurt as well?" "Ouch, yes, that hurts too." "Now if you touch your chest, how's that?" "It hurts just as much, doctor." "Just as I thought. Your finger's broken." That reminds me of a joke. A man goes to the doctor for a physical. The doctor tells him, "You have to stop masturbating." The man says, "Why?" The doctor says, "Because I'm trying to give you a physical." Terrible. Or, I was waiting for my next flight in the terminal when a woman sat down next to me and started to breastfeed her baby. A woman came over and said, "What in the world do you think you're doing?" I guess I should have waited till later to masturbate. God, that's terrible. A man goes to see the doctor. "Doctor, doctor, every time I drink coffee my eye hurts." The doctor says, "Next time you drink coffee, take the spoon." Oh my god. Take the spoon out. That's great. I'll try not to laugh as I say it, because then you can't tell what I'm saying. This is hilarious. My dad told me this one. A father finds out that his son masturbates. He then notices that he does it a lot. Excuse me. To try and make him stop, he tells his son, "Did you know that if you masturbate too much, sooner or later you're going to go blind?" The son says, "It's okay, I'll stop when I start needing glasses." Sorry, I'm trying not to laugh at the end of all these, that I think are really funny. In case you didn't get that, I'll stop when I start needing glasses. I think people think these are good dad jokes. The next comment after that is alternative. "I'm over here, Dad." What's blue and doesn't weigh much? Light blue. That's great, I just love the simplicity of that. What's blue and smells like red paint? Blue paint. What's red and invisible? No tomatoes. You can tell these are off Reddit because these are just so bad. Where does the king keep his armies? In his sleeveys. Worst joke ever. That's all the comment says. Also, how did Hitler tie his shoesies? With Nazis. I always tell these jokes together as a set. Somebody else says, "Where did Hitler keep his armies? In his sleeveys. How did he tie his shoesies? In little Nazis. I'm never invited to parties." Yeah. And iteration, sorry, I'm not familiar with that word. An iteration of joke number 2 that I told in grade 2 to the class, and thus caused my parents to get called in. Oh dear. A bra and a pair of jumperlies walk into a bar. The bra asks for a beer. The barman says no. The bra asks why. The barman says, "'Cause you're off your tits and your mates look like they can start something." That's funny. Somebody says, "These were crap. Total rubbish. Have you got any more?" That's how bad they are. I just want more. 2 tomatoes cross the street. One of the tomatoes gets hit by a car, and the other tomato goes, "Oh, come on, catch up." What's green and brown, has 6 legs, and will kill you if it jumps out of a tree on you? A snooker table. That's great. What do you call a fish with 2 knees? 2-knee fish. A skeleton walks into a bar and says, "Barkeep, I'll have a pitcher of beer and a mop." 2 men walks into a bar. The third one ducks. 2 men in a night walk into a bar. But that's just terrible. I don't know if these are getting better or worse. 2 bananas are sitting on the shore of a river having a picnic when suddenly a piece of shit comes floating by. The piece of shit waves exuberantly at the bananas and says, "Hey guys, how's it going?" The bananas are stunned for a moment. Then one banana turns to the other and says, "Can you believe that shit?" That's just crazy. 2 baby seals walk into a club. Both died. R.I.P. baby seals. I don't know if that's funny or just disturbing. That's kind of sick. These will get better here from here. Did you hear about the man who stole a calendar? He got 12 months. I used to work in a calendar factory. I got fired for taking a day off. My friend used to work at the sperm bank. He got fired for drinking on the job. Oh dear, that's terrible. And somebody's done a emoticon thing, and then after that somebody says, "Never has an emoticon so poignantly captured my actual face after reading something." And I used to work at an orange juice factory. I ended up getting fired because I couldn't concentrate. I used to be a doctor, but I had no patience. I used to be a policeman until I shot a child by mistake. I have never fully recovered. I don't know, that's funny, that's just kind of weird. Disturbing. I quit my job at the helium gas factory long ago. I refused to be spoken to in that tone of voice. The human cannonball was fired his first day on the job. I used to work at Jimmy John's and I got fired. No pun here, just fuck sandwiches. I don't know anything about Jimmy John's, so I currently work at Jimmy John's. Fuck sandwiches. Maybe that's why you got fired. You're just supposed to deliver them. That's great. This one works better in writing. Take a day off has different annotations depending on whether the day off is a noun or an off adverb. God, that's. I don't know if you've ever been on Reddit, but that's what they're all about. They're just grammar Nazis. It's half jokes and half grammar, picking out the places where people have made mistakes. It's terrible. That joke is really dated. I know, right? He needs to get with the times. He has a weak, W-E-E-K, sense of humour. Year right. Time. Oh dear. I know you. You're clockier than the watch thief. Did you hear about the brooms? They're sweeping the nation. They've dissolved into lyrics. I work out. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. I work out. That was good imitation, wasn't it? You're sexy. Don't you think he already knows that? So much wiggling, yeah. Oh my god. This just get so sidetracked. Also, did you hear about the corduroy pillows? They're making headlines everywhere. No, but I did hear about two guys. One stole a firework, the other a car battery. They ended up charging one and let the other one off. That's good. Did you hear about the two guys who stole a calendar? They got 6 months each. Guessing you didn't hear about the 4 guys who stole a calendar. Were they called the 4 Seasons? I wonder what they did Vivaldi time. That pun took just the exact right amount of time to figure out. Well balanced, relevant, reference, proper execution. 10 out of 10. Would smirk again. Okay. No, I didn't. What happened? It turned out that the calendar was actually cobalt-60 and they died of radiation poisoning. It's always cobalt-60. It's sidetracked again. Each guy got a small fine and a community order. 3 of them got 4 months each and the 4th got immunity. Oh god. They were seasoned criminals. The Italian Job 2, turning back time. Man arrested for stealing fireworks. They lay him off. Oh dear. His accomplice was arrested for drinking battery acid. He got charged. Did you hear about the guy who robbed the watch store? He's going to be in for a long time. Looks like his days are numbered. Luckily his cell was quite drafty and the days just flew by. I won a year's supply of calendars. I got 1. Have you heard about that movie Constipation? It hasn't come out yet. How about the constipated mathematician? He worked it out with a pencil. Okay. How about the really constipated mathematician? He worked out with a calculator. What? It was a number 2 pencil. Dear. Eat more fibre then. Oh, this is good. What do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. What did Batman say to Robin before he got in the car? Get in the car. How do you get 100 Canadians out of a pool? Say, please get out of the pool. Sorry, please get out of the pool, eh? Sorry, oot. They're just getting offensive to Canadians. Yeah. What did the farmer say when he lost his tractor? Shit, where's my tractor? It reminds me of something my grandfather said right before he kicked the bucket. He said, how far do you think I can kick this bucket? In case you don't know, that's a reference to dying. I mean, most people probably know that, but I thought it was worth pointing out. Just in case you didn't get the joke. I also know someone who bought the farm recently. Again, another death joke. Last time I talked to him, he told me, you won't believe what a great deal I got on this farm. A group of monks was arrested for selling flowers outside the Playboy mansion without a licence. Apparently only Hugh can prevent florist friars. I don't know about you, but I don't get that one. If these are terrible, I'm not ashamed to say I have a terrible sense of humour. Well, maybe yeah, I do. It's alright. That's why I was there for Reddit, because it's just the worst jokes in the world ever. How do you make £5 of fat look attractive? Put a nipple on it. How do you turn a fox into an elephant? Marry it. That's almost offensive, but I get why that's funny. Number 18 reminds me of one my grandpa always tells. A pregnant woman was involved in a car accident, and while in the hospital she fell into a coma. When she awoke days later, she noticed she was no longer carrying a child and asked the doctor what happened to her baby. The doctor says, "Ma'am, you've had twins. You're the proud mother of a handsome baby boy and a beautiful baby girl. Also, you should know that while you were in a coma, your brother named the children for you." "Oh no," shrieked the woman, "not my brother. He's really..." Sorry, I'm missing words and stuff again. "He's not really all together, if you know what I mean." The doctor replied, "Well, ma'am, your brother named your daughter Denise." "Oh, that's not so bad," smiled the woman. Then hesitantly she asked, "What's the boy's name?" The doctor grinned and said, "De nephew." Wow. A magician is walking down the street. He then turns into a grocery store. Did you hear about the magic tractor? It turned into a field. Did you hear about the farmer who owned that tractor? He was outstanding in his field. Oh dear, he's cracked me up. Two muffins are sitting in an oven. One muffin says to the other, "Is it hot in here?" The other muffin yells, "Ah, a talking muffin." Wow, I don't know why that's funny. Did you guys hear about the gay midget? Yeah, well, he came out of the cupboard. Two fish are in a tank. One fish says to the other, "I'll drive, you man the guns." That's really good, that's genius. I've never heard that joke before, but I'm surprised it's not like one of those really old classic jokes. Two soldiers are in a tank. One turns to the other and says, "Glub, glub, glub." Again. I've never heard that punchline. The punchline I've heard is, "So, how the fuck do we drive this thing?" That's pretty good. Two cannibals are eating a tourist, one from each end. Oh dear, I remember this one. The first says, "Boy, I'm having a ball." The second replies, "Hey, you're eating too fast." That's bad. I had a friend who was a baker. His bakery tragically burnt down. Now his business is toast. That's pretty crummy. How will he make any bread now? Yeah, I heard he was making a ton of dough there. At least he had insurance. I heard the new bakery is starting to rise. Do you guys have any butter jokes? Haha, nice. Not bunny. Was he French? What do you call two Mexicans playing basketball? Duran on Duran. Again, I'm probably pronouncing that terribly wrong, I suppose. Or it's just supposed to sound like one-on-one. Somebody says two Mexicans playing the wrong sport. What's green and has wheels? Grass. I was just kidding about the wheels. Oh dear, dear, dear. What do you call a bee born in May? A maybe. I'll show myself out. What do you call a bee that gives milk? A booby. I'll show myself out too. You'll be back. Ah dear. And the penguin says, "He's not an eggplant, he's retarded." What? What the hell? I don't even. Oh well, this is brilliant. Why do teenage girls always travel in odd numbers? Because they just can't even. That's great. You should watch the Netflix original Orange is the New Black. Okay. Knock knock. Who's there? I got up. The next one I was like, what? Knock knock. Who's there? I mop. What? Again, just... I don't get it. I need to try that on my wife when she wakes up. Wow. Don't show up late to a dinner party for cannibals. You'll get the cold shoulder. Oh dear. What did the Mexican fireman call his two penises? Jose and Joseby. I don't know if that works better in writing. That's obviously Jose. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but that worked, didn't it? Anyway, moving on. The funny thing about this joke is English speakers pronounce Jose wrong. Yes, well, I'm trying. A mushroom walks into a bar. The bartender sees him and says, "Sorry, but we don't serve your kind here." To which the mushroom says, "Oh, come on, I'm a fun guy." Oh dear. The bartender says, "We don't serve food." My grandpa would say number 12 every Christmas. Another to add, a gay, lesbian and transsexual walk into a bar. They had a great night out. Also, my wife had a terrifying experience. A sex maniac jumped out of an alleyway and totally ignored her. And Dustman goes to the local Asian restaurant and says, "Where's your bin?" The manager, "I have been to Hong Kong." Bin man, "No, where's your wheelie bin?" The manager says, "I really have been to Hong Kong." Well, two flies were having an argument on a toilet seat. One got pissed off. Did you hear about the guy who robbed an art store? He died, spelled D-Y-E-D. Wow. Did you hear about the joke? Sorry, reading that wrong again. Did you hear the joke about the Great Wall of China? You'll never get over it. Two men walked into a bar. The third one ducked. Two men walked into a bar. You'd have thought one would have seen it. I've heard that as a Tommy Cooper joke, and it was a blonde joke. Snoop Dogg is sitting in a chair knitting. 50 Cent walks in the room and says, "Gee, you knit?" Again, I'm actually missing something because I don't get that. What did the buffalo say to his son before he left for college? Bison. Doctor, I have 59 seconds to live. Wait a minute. Okay, this is a long one. A rope walks into a bar. He sits at the bar and the bartender says, I'm sorry pal, but we don't serve ropes here." The rope leaves and goes into another bar down the street. He sits at the bar and tells the bartender, "You won't believe what just happened to me." The bartender says, Let me guess, you refuse service at another bar on this street." The rope says, "How did you know that?" The bartender says, "I think you'll find that no bar in this town will serve you." The rope says, "We'll see about that." So the rope goes outside, ties himself in a knot and frays both of his ends. Then he walks into another bar, sits down and orders a beer. As he sits there, he notices the bartender staring at him. The bartender asks him, "Say, buddy, you wouldn't happen to be a rope, would you?" The rope says, "No, I'm afraid not." Oh dear. That's pretty good though. The cannibal looks up from his dinner and says to his wife, "I don't like your mother." To which his wife replies, "So eat the vegetables." Wow. Did you hear Ellen DeGeneres died? They found her face down in Ricky Lake. I know, it's awful. Totally got my mum with this one though. Wow. That's pretty good though. Hey, why didn't the skeleton chicken cross the road? Because he had no guts. That's a good twist on the old classics. I've never heard that one before. Why don't spooky skeletons have music before mass? They don't have organs. Again, they get a little sidetracked. I won't read all that. Did you hear about the Native American? He drank so much tea he drowned in his own teepee. Wow. Where do animals go when their tails fall off? The retail store. A snail walks into a car dealership and says, "I want to buy this car, but I have a special request. I want you to paint a big S on the side of it, and I want you to paint another big S on the roof, and another on the hood." The salesman is confused and says, "Sure, we can do that, but why would you want a giant S on your car?" The snail responds, "I want everybody to see me and say, 'Look at that cargo.'" Again. I hope you find that funny because I didn't get that one. Who's the poorest person in Kentucky? The Tooth Fairy. Wow. What did the ghost say to the bee? "Booby." What are goosebumps for? To slow down speeding geese. What's brown and sticky? A stick. Wow. What do you call a bear with no teeth? A gummy bear. Wow, that's brilliant. Somebody says, I told that while going camping last month. Everybody laughed. The next person says, told that at water polo practice. Was almost drowned. Well. Why did the astronaut get out of the rocket? He just needed some space. The worst zoo in America has just one animal. It's a Shih Tzu. Wow. These jokes were so bad I reported the post. With a smiley face, so they might be kidding. I'm getting jokes on the brain here. 2 sausages. I don't know what it'd be like if 2 jokes were frying in a pan. That's a completely different thing. 2 sausages are frying away in a pan. One of them turns to the other and says, is it me or is it getting hot in here? The other one goes, a talking sausage. Hang on, they didn't change. Move on. I once made a belt out of watches. It was a waste of time. Wow. 2 fleas leave a disco late at night. One says to the other, should we leave jumping or wait for a dog? Okay. What's blue and smells like red paint? Blue paint. 2 cannibals decide to eat their meal, with one starting at the head and one starting at the feet. I'm having fun, says the first cannibal. Me too, says the second. I'm having a ball. Slow down. Why are the cemeteries so full? People are just dying to get in. How do you wake up Lady Gaga? You poke her face. Okay. This joke is a long shot and I doubt anyone who sees it will understand, but what happened when a lady stepped on a violent tomato choker? Again, you've lost me completely, but I thought I'd include it. I haven't made any jokes about amnesia today, I think. Did you hear about the kid napping at a local elementary school? It's okay, he woke up. I don't know if I read that right, but you get why it's funny. I prefer he slept well. Okay. A guy's driving along, minding his own business, and a cop pulls him over. The cop walks up to his car and says, I'd like you to blow in this bag, please, sir. The guy asks, why? He says, because my chips are too hot. Okay. Oh, this one is genius. Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7 is a repeated 6 offender. Well, sorry, I pretty messed that up, but you get it. That's brilliant. Ah, dear. They're at it again. Why was 6 afraid of 7? It wasn't. 6 and 7 are numbers, and I cannot feel emotions such as fear. Wow. They just have to spoil everything. What's orange and black and goes up and down? A basketball in an elevator. How did Captain Hook die? His balls got itchy. Ow, that's a painful joke. That's really painful, but I suppose it's funny. Reminds me of a priest, a rabbi and a minister walks into a bar. The bartender looks up and says, what is this, some kind of joke? Wow. Why did the cookie go to the doctor? Because he was feeling crummy. I now have 20 new dad jokes, thank you. How many religious women does it take to screw in a light bulb? None. A woman and her husband were watching TV together when a weather program comes on. The weatherman's name was Rudolph, and he was an immigrant from Russia back when it was the Soviet Union. The weatherman starts talking about a thunderstorm coming to their town, but the husband looked out of the window and said, I don't believe it for a second, there's not a cloud in the sky. His wife turned to him and said, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. Yeah, that's the worst joke I know. Wow. Wow, that's terrible. My dad's favourite joke. What did the big smokestack say to the little smokestack? You're too young to smoke. What's the best time to go to the dentist? 2:30. What do you call a deer with no eyes? No idea. What do you call a deer with no eyes and no legs? Still no idea. What do you call a deer with no eyes, no legs and no penis? Still no fucking idea. Wow. A group of chess enthusiasts checked into a hotel. Wow. Should I tell you the joke about the high wall? I better not, you might not get over it. I find the pun of 3 to actually be pretty amusing, actually with better delivery, such as, did you hear about the peanut that was in Central Park after dark? It was assaulted. A horse walks into a bar. The bartender says, what's with the long face? Did you hear about the hole in the road caused by a bomb? The police are looking into it. All of the dogs were stolen from the kennels the other day. The police have got no leads. The toilet was stolen from the changing room in the station last week. The police have got nothing to go on. Oh dear. Stevie Wonder has a beautiful home. Have you ever seen it? No, I haven't. That's okay. Neither is he. Wow. Stevie Wonder. You can't joke about him, do you? What do you call a fly with no wings? A walk. Wow. Ringling Brothers are having a hard time replacing the human cannonball. You know, the guy who gets shot out of a cannon. The guy recently retired. It's hard to find people of the right calibre. 2 reminds me of some eggs, bacon and toast walk into a bar. The bartender says, sorry, we don't serve breakfast. That's good. Hey man, did you hear about the diarist, the circus? Yeah bro, I heard it was intense. 2 snowmen are standing in a field. One turns to the other and says, can you smell carrots? What do you call a truck that ran over a teenager? 18-wheeler. Where does the Obama family go for vacation? The Grand Canyon. What do wrestling sheep call their teammates? The fellow sheep of the ring. Why would melons be depressing to work with? They'll always be your melon colleagues. Which plant loves to go to the library? Read. Why are Republicans having a hard time getting their agendas through? Because of all the bureaucracy. Why would a drummer nun put a band in a bind? Can none drum? Why is it painful for a pig to play baseball in the steroid era? Because he'd be called hemorrhoid. Why do you call gifts given out at a chair and carpentry... Sorry, what? Can't read again. What do you call gifts given out at a chair and carpentry conference? Stool samples. Oh dear. Excuse me. A dwarf didn't want to risk accepting a job as a butcher, as he felt all the stakes were too high. Wow. My 8-year-old loves this one. And with all the Bryce Lee memes floating around, what's Bruce Lee's favourite drink? Water. And there's this one I've heard. What does Bruce Lee order when he goes to Burger King? A whooper and a water. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm sorry, that's totally offensive. Let's just read it for you. The doctor told me I should be eating 5 fruits and vegetables a day. I told him I won't succumb to peer pressure. What's green and has yellow wheels? Grass. I lied about the wheels. Dear, oh dear. What did the teddy bear say when he was offered dessert? No thanks, I'm stuffed. Wow. So Carlton has Tom Jones syndrome. This explains everything. Did you hear about the dwarf psychic that escaped prison? Police are warning us there's a small medium at large. Wow. Where does sperm go when they die? Kingdom come. A Buddhist monk walks up to a hot dog vendor and says, make me one with everything. Hands the vendor $5. When asked for change, the vendor says, real change comes from within. Oops, I'm in the wrong place. Thought these jokes were going to be bad. 2 fish are in a tank. The first says, you man the guns, I'll drive. Okay, and that's all of it. So I'm going to try and close up real quick, and I have to apologise for the length of the video because it's stupidly long. Perhaps I should divide it up, but I hope you think it's worth it, and I hope I did these Reddit jokes justice because I think they're amazing. The first time I read it, so I just couldn't stop laughing. and the first time I read it to somebody else, they just did this the whole way through the facepalm. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and if any of the Reddit users recognise the jokes in this video and you want me to give you credit for these jokes, then I'm happy to do so. Just let me know, okay? And thank you again, Reddit, for your amazing sense of humour. And I hope you appreciate the sense of humour too. Some of these are brilliant, they're so genius, I just had to share them. So, anyway, sorry again for the length of this video. I hate making really long videos. I hope you think it was worth it, and I'll see you later with a short video next time.